Okay, to start Kiro Spec-Driven Development, let's first create a repository. I'm adding the repository name Portfolio MVP. Description I have added Kiro in action. And the configuration here I'm keeping very simple by default. Visibility as public, and let's create a repository. Okay, so the repository is created. Now what I'll do, I'll clone this repository in Kiro. So we have seen we have created the repository. Now it's time to clone the repository. So as my repository is empty, so yes, we have cloned the empty repository. Let's open the empty repository. Okay, we can directly do it from here as I've already installed Kiro in my local. So yeah, okay. So I have opened the repository inside the Kiro, and Kiro support two mode as we have already discussed in episode 1. One is vibe mode and second is spec mode. So if you want to understand it completely, go and check it out the episode 1. For today end-to-end demo, what we will do, we will understand how the spec-driven development work inside the Kiro. So spec-driven is most importantly when you want to thinking through a features in depth, where your project's needing upfront planning and you want to build a features in a structured way. Okay, so that's where Kiro spec-driven comes in a picture. Okay, so before jumping and building the things, let's also understand what are the features it support. So if you select this hash, you will see you can select any file from here. You can, if you're writing any spec, so this is the path .kiro slash spec. For document type to search docs, and there are some other. If you want to open the terminal, you can directly open it from here and others. Okay, and if you want to upload any images, such as you want to upload your profile picture to make your portfolio, you can directly upload it from here. And this you can see I have selected as a autopilot, and this is auto mode. And you can also select any specific model. Here you can see the model Claude Sonnet 4.5, Claude Sonnet 4, Claude Haiku, and there are some others. Okay, so for today's demo, maybe we can select auto mode, as we have I have already worked on auto mode, and I also worked on Claude Sonnet 4.5. This is also good. So I'll recommend you guys also try with this one. And for today's demo, we can try with auto, and this is autopilot. Okay, so I have just selected Kiro spec driven. So spec as we already discussed. So let's write the spec file. So here I will create spec.md, and inside this, let me paste. Okay, so I have created this spec. Okay, now for today's goal, we just want to understand how this spec driven development is working, okay, and how we can use this methodology for our uh, real time development and real time project. Okay, so portfolio demo spec, our goal is build a minimal professional single page portfolio, and this is the tech stack I have mentioned here: React, Node.js, and this is the constraint. I'm just specifically mentioning that no backend, no routing, no animation, to keep it very simple. And the section required, what I want a hero section where I want my image should be there, and the image should be in circular. This is the medium size. My name should be there in the hero section, the title of my profession and all the experiences. And this is few of the tagline that I have added here just to show you guys. And about section, project section, and to contact me. Okay, so this is the one. Let's add a prompt here. I will reference this spec file directly. Create a portfolio using spec.md. As I have already updated all the details in the spec.md, so I'm just adding create a portfolio using spec.md, and the type I have selected here is a spec. Okay, let's see what it does. And we have selected auto mode. Okay. Now it is asking few questions. So I guess this is a new update of Kiro, because last time when I was working, there was no input required. But let's see what it is asking. So based on your description, this sounds like a new feature. And is this a new feature or bug fix? So yes, it's a new feature. We are not using any bug fix. So submit an answer. So now it's asking, let me ask about your preferred approach. Okay, what do you want to start with? So first I want to start with requirement, because it will understand what is the requirement details that I have added in spec.md, and it will search and understand this spec.md and create a requirement first. And then once like Kiro understand the requirement, it will go ahead and create a technical design. Okay, so as it is also recommending, we will start with requirement. Okay, so what it does, uh, now it is creating a comprehensive spec for the portfolio project. Okay, see, it is reading spec.md. Now here you can see it is creating .kiro slash spec and portfolio MVP. So you can see it created config.kiro and the requirement.md. Okay, so let's open this requirement.md, and as it is in progress, but let me tell you one thing about Kiro, that as we have selected spec driven, first it will create a requirement. Once the requirement gathering is complete, what it does, it will move to the design phase. Once you accept the design, like the design is good and you want that particular design for your application or your website, then you can give the confirmation here, and it will proceed for the final list, which is a task list. Okay, so we'll see all of this in this slide itself. So it's creating any error, but see how it can fix. Okay, so it's adding some edits. Okay, so requirement document. Here you can see it added as an introduction. This document specifies the requirements for a minimal professional single page portfolio website. Okay, and these are the details about portfolio app, hero section that we have already added in a spec, about project, contact, and project card, and responsive layout. So a layout that adapt to different screen size, mobile, tablet, and desktop. So, how Kiro understand this and how it create a requirement file, that also like it is very important. So first, it add as a requirement. Okay. Now requirement one. So every requirement it consider as a user story and acceptance criteria. So any of you, if you have worked in a Jira, so how Jira work? It's understand about the user story, what is the requirement, and then it create a user story for that particular requirement, and then it also create a acceptance criteria. So display hero section. So as a visitor, I want to see a hero section with profile information so that I can quickly understand who the portfolio belongs to. Okay. Now let's see acceptance criteria. The hero section shall display a circular profile, which is great. My name, my position, okay, everything. Now this is another requirement, which is requirement two. Okay, display about section. So as a visitor, I want to read about the professional background so that I can understand the expertise and experience. Yes, I want this. So the acceptance criteria is also fine to me. Like the about section shall display a heading about me and my talk details. And requirement 3, display project section. Yes, I want to update my project, and this is the acceptance criteria for the same. Requirement 4, display contact section. Yes, this is I want. And apply dark theme with purple accent. Okay, so this is I want. Implement responsive layout. So as a visitor, I want the portfolio to work on any device. Okay, so I can view it on mobile, tablet, and desktop. So yes, this is also I want. And requirement 7 is build with a specific technology stack. So let's see this user story. As a developer, I want to use modern web technology so that portfolio is maintainable. And acceptance criteria, React and White. Okay, and this is single page application, Node.js. Requirement 8, maintain a clean and minimal design. This is good. So we have total 8 requirements. So let's see what is it is saying now. The requirement document is ready, requirements.md. Would you like to review or should I proceed with creating design document? Okay, so as we have already uh, reviewed it, right? So we can directly add the prompt here. Yes, we have reviewed it and move it for the further. But if you can see it here, it also gives us option to continue. Okay, so if you I select here progress to the next document in the workflow. So let's generate a design. So here want to select the generate design, not a generate design and task, because I also want to review my design, how the portfolio will look like. So let's proceed with from here. Okay, so now as it will move to design phase, it will now create a design.md. Soon we will see it from here. Okay, see, to proceed with design phase. Now it's reading the requirement.md. And I want every requirement that is mentioned, I want to have in my portfolio. So that's why I did not add any uh, extra thing, or I did not remove anything. Okay. So now the design is completed. So let's see design document, portfolio MVP, a single page portfolio, tech stack it mentioned, architecture. Here you can see it is updating the component structure, app, hero, about, and project, and there will be two card and the contact. Okay, this is similarly the same, and this is more about the styling, project structure, key implementation, and the testing strategy. Okay, so let's quickly move to the generate task. Now this is task list. If you see, this is the third phase. So first we have created requirement. Once we have approved the requirement, then it go to design phase. Once you accept the design phase, it will go and create a task list. Okay, so now you can see it is reading the requirement file and it is also reading the design file. Let's see what is we have in .config. Okay, there is some spec id and workflow, and it is now creating task list. Yes, so now it's also completed the task list. Let's quickly check. So it is dividing all the things in the task 1 and task 2. So let's start with task 1. So here in initializing the task, adding the hero section component, and it's 3. So create contact details and final verification. So only 7 tasks. Okay, so as we wanted to keep it very simple. So let's run the task and see how it works. Okay, so here there are again two options: run required task and run required and optional task. So for today's use case, let's select run required task. So as we have 7 tasks, but it will take some time. So let's see how much time it will take. So as it already initialized creating a project, okay, for our tech stack. Here it is initializing a project and configuring the tools. Okay. You can see now it is started creating all the files. Okay. You can directly go and see the files here, but let's stick to this task and see how this task in progress. So once you see the task in progress is complete, it will mark as complete and it will move to the task 2. So currently the task 2 is task in queue, right? Okay, so installation is done. Now let's proceed with npm run build. Now you can see it's doing building for production and it's installing. Okay, so now all task is almost completed. Task 1, task 2, about component is also completed. 4, 5th and 6th. Okay, and now it's proceeding with the final verification one. Okay, so now all the task is completed as we have seen. Now it's time to run and see if it is working the way we want. Okay, okay, let's open this. Okay, so it's time to test the portfolio. So yes, it is loading. Okay, and let's click the project. Yes, it is featuring the project and get in touch. So this is how we can develop the production grade application. This is one of the example. I wanted you to understand how this spec-driven development works and what is the phase. So start with requirement design and then task. So okay, so now you can see I'm in Versal.com. You can also deploy your portfolio directly here and it's free. So as we have already did the confirmation in the local, we have tested. So here I have imported my GitHub and this is the project and this is the same. I'm keeping it as it is. Let's see, do the deployment and see how it is building and completing the deployment. Okay. So the moment I selected deploying, now it's building here. You can see installing all the dependency. And once the build is complete, we can see the project deployed. So let's go to dashboard and see. Okay. So this is the deployment. So if you select the deployment, you will see all the builds and deployment stages here. Okay. So and it's also giving us here one of the preview. But let's confirm here. So select this. Okay. Cool. So we have completed end-to-end development and deployment. Okay. Thanks for watching.